catalyst for change with the chance to thrive. Crystal is the one to stir up gifts and save lives. You get exposure, promotion, and marketing too. And advertise for business owners just like you. On Storytime, your interview is global. Virtual or in person, just come on the show. Yo, your story matters. Crystals will open the door. 40 years of experience, ready to give you more on Storytime. Get ready for Storytime. Hey, come on.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Listen, I am so excited to be back. Let me make sure this lighting is good. I'm trying to get this light right. You know, lighting is everything is important when you're trying to do this stuff. I may have to get some more light over here. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Storytime. We are doing yet another pre-recording that bring you another amazing individual. Mr. Cambon is the founder of the CEO of Melanin Enhancement Enterprises, LLC, and I am so excited for you to meet this gentleman right here. He is waiting, and I'm going to bring him up, and I am so excited to see what we're going to talk about today. How you doing there, brother? You're muted. You got your microphone.
There you go.
No,
that's
yeah,
okay. How you doing, sister? Yeah.
I am so excited to have you here, man. I'm gonna tell you something. When I met you that night and I saw Brandon, because I already knew Brandon, I was just excited because I said, this is another talented young man here in North Carolina. You know, how's everything going on this Sunday evening?
Well, first of all, I appreciate you having me on. It's a pleasure. It's going good. You know, I had a little break, you know, for about almost a week and a half from doing stage play, you know, rehearsals and stuff. So I've been enjoying that. We just got back yesterday.
Oh, wow. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that's amazing. What I'm getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to cut on this YouTube. And what we generally do is try to make sure that one is down, the bottom down one, so the other one is up. And so I'm about to go live on Instagram right now.
All right. So I have my other device too for that. Do I need it?
All right. So I'm doing that at this moment. Listen, guys out there, listen, when you check this out on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn later in, you will be amazed at the thing that this young brother is doing. And he's going to let us know about his background. Just give me 1 second while I make sure I let my other people come on in here too and hear this, because we can't keep this a secret. You know, we need to let the people know what we got going on. And we're going to turn this camera around and get this thing going right now. All right, got that thing there too. And we are live over there. And so what I'll do is I'll send you an invite over there on that one.
All right, I got it.
And so you'll be able to come on in over there as the people begin to find out AJAN. And then we'll make sure the sound is right and we'll be good to go. How you doing? How you doing? I see you. I see you in the room. Let's hope that, there's somebody else sending me a request. No, sorry, I can't bring you in today. All right, now let's turn this volume down over here on this. Make sure I got my volume down. I usually turn the volume down on.
All right, I'm trying to do the same thing. Hold on.
On the Instagram one, so that the YouTube one can be correct, and then we'll be in the building. All right. I just need to turn on one more light, because this light, I'm not feeling this light. Give me 1 second. See if that makes a difference for me. Yeah, I think that makes a little different. So, once again, for the people just coming in the room, as they begin to come in the room, and I'll definitely let people know that we are here. Tell the people who is Mr. And now pronounce your first name, so I'll pronounce it right.
First name is pronounced Ajani. It's a lot of people say Ajani, but the J is more of a CH. Swahili. It's Ajani Cambon.
So the A is quiet.
So the J is more like a J, so it's Ajani. I'm used to being called Ajani. I'm used to being called Johnny. So, but the correct pronunciation is Ajani.
Okay. So and Cambon is Cambon, like Mr. Cambon.
Yeah.
No, Kamal Kamban,
Kamau,
and
right?
you
Absolutely,
said
yes.
you're not related to him, right?
No, no, no. Well, not in spirit we are, yes, but not biologically, no.
So when I met you, it was at the Smooth Ivory event, and
Yes.
with Gina Reve and Miss Colquitt, very talented individuals. And I know that you got this. Now I'm hearing a little echo. Is that coming from my side or is that on your?
It might be mine. Hold on one second. Let me mute.
And I know Brandon was performing that night. I know Brandon Foster. He's another great talent in the area. And we want to let the people know about people like you because only are you gifted, but you also are a brother that can present opportunity for people who may want to do things out here when it comes to acting,
Yes.
with the Melanin Enhancement Enterprise LLC. So can you tell the people a little bit about your background? I still hear that echo.
Okay. I think I'm trying to mute my other one, but I don't see. I have it. What I'm doing is I'm turning it all the way down, and it's still not going all the way down. Oh, I see it right here. Mute. There you go. You shouldn't hear it now.
Right. Okay, good.
Okay.
And what I may have to do is I may just have to mute when you're talking. I can do that. That's okay.
Yeah.
So
I
tell the
figured it
people
out.
who is, and I want to say it again right. Okay. I gotta
Ajani.
make sure I say it right. Tell
Hmm.
the people who is Johnny. Is it should I say a Johnny or a Johnny?
Yeah, Ajani's good.
A
Uh,
Johnny Cambon. Who is Johnny Cambon?
well, first and foremost, I don't consider myself, a a writer or author or actor or anything. I consider myself creative artist. Simply because in my nature, uh, I would say since birth, but probably from the time I was about 5 or 6, noticed that I could do a little drawing. So I dibble and dabble a little bit in drawing, and I sort of grew fond of it. It's funny because the first thing I remember drawing was Popeye. And my mom came home. She thought I traced it. So she's like, "Did you trace?" I didn't know what trace meant. I was like, "Nah, I mean, I don't know what is that." So, and from there, I was about 5 or 6, and she was just blown away at how like I said, she thought I traced it. And then from there, I just picked up, the love of film. I just started loving to watch movies, and I was at my 80s baby, so I loved a lot of movies back in that time. Growing up in environments where hip hop was coming up, so and so just loving to just watch movies and watch film, of course, the Cosby Show and so forth and so on. So from there, I was like, you know what, I wouldn't mind doing something like whether I'm on the stage, I mean on film, or whether I'm writing something, And so by the time I was 12, I wrote my first little poem, and from there, I just felt that I had some gift to do something creative, and so I consider myself a creative artist.
Wow. Was that the poem Increase the Peace? I see you in the Nat from
Yes.
New York City. I just met that brother. Is that the one? Let me see. Oh, Nat is the young lady that does the jumping rope. There's a lot of New Yorkers that pop through here. So welcome. Make sure you let people know that you are here and share, like, and comment for sure. Say hello and let us know where you're coming in from. But increase the peace. So that was like one of the first pieces you wrote, and I know you said in your bio that it laid the foundation for the path that you took as a social activist. So tell us
Yeah.
about that. With that, at 12 years old, you found out that you wanted to be an activist that young.
Well, I have to credit that to my pops. He was a military man. Uh, he was not just military man, but he was a militant man. He was a proud black man. He let the people know, definitely let his son know I'm the only child. And so growing up in that environment, he taught me a lot about the importance of first of all self discovery. He's the first one that I contribute to learning about you know Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey and the Panthers and all that. He was the first one. Even though I might have been such a tender age, it it didn't really resonate until I got a little older. And I think so. Even at 12, writing a poem, my first one called "Increase the Peace," a lot of that came from because it was around 92, 93, give or take. So watching movies and watching film and always hearing him talk. But he was a newsman. He was, like I said, he was definitely a for the people person, and he always talked about, our plight. That's all. I mean, when I say always, when I'm 5'6", as far as I can remember. So it wasn't like, and it wasn't off and on. It was all the time. So always hearing about black men, black people, we could do better, do this, that. And so by the time I hit 12 and seeing a lot of stuff, and because of him, keeping me, abreast of what was going on, not just where we were, but all over to us as a people. I think that's where increased the peace sort of, I guess,
Wow.
sparked. Yeah,
Now, not only were you a poet, but you also a social activist, a public speaker, I mean, an author. You have the LLC that you created, Melanin Enhancement Enterprises LLC, and I know that you have a lot of films and a lot of opportunities for those out there that want to get into that industry, and we'll talk about that later. A degree, a black belt, a first degree black belt in martial arts. I mean, my goodness. You also are experienced in mental health. I mean,
yeah.
you have so much that you can offer to people. Now, I want to talk about that mental health piece for one quick moment because, right now we just came out of Mental Health Awareness Month. We just came out of a lot of people really concentrating a lot on that. And specifically in the film and acting industry, it's a lot of pressure. So I want to ask you, with your background in mental health, do you feel as though there's enough focus on that for the people that go out here to handle the stress that comes with it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a lot, and these last few decades it's been even more stark. I don't. I think there's a lot. I don't want to discredit anyone out there who is doing, what needs to be done to help people through whatever they have going on. But so I'm not going to say I don't think it's enough. I think it's enough. I just think it should be more focus, or should I say emphasis on what type of treatment is being provided, what type of therapy, because you have hundreds of thousands of mental health agencies and therapists and social scientists and behavior scientists out there who are, of course, supposed to be helping the people. But if you have so many out there and that you still have an increase in manic depression, you have an increase in the suicide you know attempts, as well as those that were committed. Uh, that means there's something alarming there to me, and something is missing. So I think that if we focus a little bit more on what types of programs, what types of treatments, what type of treatment and programs is out there for the people to actually get. And me doing mental health for about 8 years or so, eight and some change. I've worked with children from the age of 6 all the way up to adults about 80, 75, 80. So uh, just coming from experience, I think that if therapeutic measures were actually offered where they were conducive to their you know mental, social, and political status, I think that we can curb a lot of the I guess the misfortunes that come with people becoming manic depressive, bipolar, schizo, and so forth. So
Do
just
you
making sure that.
believe that in this industry there, do you believe that it would be more effective if we had more films, more music, more poetry that spoke about it? Because I hear a lot of people putting it in their message. Do you believe that that's an effective way to get the message across?
Absolutely. I've been noticing too. On some Netflix shows I've seen, some crime, shows or what have you, that they are introducing suicide and trying to, and you can tell it's for preventative measures. So I believe that yes, again, but that's another thing, like I said earlier, about if you're just mentioning it, without going deep into, some sort of remedies or some sort of cure, if you will, it's just really what it is, entertainment. I think so. I do think that the platform is out there to introduce to people, how to overcome and what ways. Speaking of music and television and movies, I think that's one of the contributing factors. That's a whole nother other ball game, but I just touched on it briefly. I think a lot of times especially with sex and drugs and this relationship issues and so forth, they are misrepresented on television. They're misrepresented in music. A lot of times, and like I said, I'm an '80s baby, so I grew up but hip hop, was hip hop. They were talking about hip hop started out in the park, to later on when I hit my teens, it was about killing each other and killing other people and shooting and drugs. And so in society, in our culture, I think that if we focus and challenge, there are artists, I will say, I have to say this, that I've heard that without mentioning any names, there's artists out there who are pushing that positive message. But unfortunately, I think oftentimes they sort of get overshadowed by the other artists who are quote unquote mainstream, and not really focusing on the issues. Because like I said again, it's like I can relate this to the Black church. We've been growing since Reconstruction. I'm saying post Reconstruction, and we have so many mega churches. It's just the same thing. You have so many Black artists, so many Black actors, and so many Black social activists. But then we still have so many Black people committing themselves or killing themselves, and so forth. So it's still like something that's missing to me. It's like we got all the pieces, but we just got to put together.
Now, and with your background in mental health in the industry for music, for film, and all these different areas right now, which one is your passion? Like, because you have so much you do.
That's a great question. Actually, and it's sort of enveloped, if you will, rather quickly. I would say film. I love the stage. But right now, I'm doing the Face of Emmett Till, which is a stage play production by Pure Life Theater. It's a powerful piece, but and of course, it's touching. You know what I'm saying? And I've done a couple of other ones, but stage is great. I love it. I love the camaraderie. I love the building, the rehearsals, and so forth. But there's nothing like getting on a film and being able to shoot a scene, 15, 20 times. You know what I'm saying? And every time you can get it. As opposed to when you get on stage, the lights come up, that's it. You mess up, you mess up. You got to keep going. And that's just not the only reason. I think also, again, because I told you in the onset of, I consider myself a creative. You get more creative with film. And I don't just like to do the acting. I would love to be, my ultimate goal is to be behind the scenes, directing, editing, stuff like that eventually. I know it's a lot of nomenclature, a lot of knowledge in that stuff, but even if I could just be a part of it. But so definitely the film, I can touch a little bit more of my creative side.
So the film is your first love. So the Face of Emmett Till, I know that you have that here in Raleigh right now,
Yes.
running it from May 12th to June 17th, and it's running 12 o'clock on Saturday up until 7 o'clock at Peace College. So anybody out there in the area, when you come back and play this back, that's going to be a great place to go. If you want to get tickets, they're available. And where can they get the tickets from for that?
Yes, well, that's actually, we finished up Peace College. We did 6 shows there. If you go to the website, Pure Life, that's PURELIFE, purelifetheater.com. As soon as you pull up the website, you'll see the face, the Emmett Till picture, his child picture, and you just click on that. But
you said Pure Life?
Yeah, Pure Life, PURELIFE, theater, THEATRE. I think the website show is pretty it's pretty easy to manage.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're doing 6 more shows now. These are going to be at the Burning Coal Theater, which is downtown Raleigh, starting on June 9th, and then 11th, and then I think the 14th.
Oh yeah, the Burning Coal. Yes, the Burning Coal is nice.
Yeah, so we'll be doing 6 shows starting June 9th from there. So again, the tickets are on that website, purelifetheater.com. I would encourage everybody, this is not a piece where I know we like to be entertained and we like to laugh and shout and dance and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, I do too. But this is a story. Both, of course, Emmett is long past and Mamie has passed. And this is what she wanted. She wanted to, leave the story, not just in some legacy form of her son, but she, wanted the Trayvon Martins and the many others, too numerous to mention, including some of our late great ancestors who were, killed violently. And that's the whole underlying message, is to come out and just remember, this story was in 55, but it's 2023, and in some places, for example, in Mississippi, where the story was about, there's still racial hatred and tension and hangings and lynchings and so forth to this day. So it's not just, we've seen
Yeah.
some, for those who've seen the movie, I get it, it's tough, but just come out and support these local artists. It's a great cast. Um, that's involved in it. Everybody's involved in it is committed. Like I said, in the rehearsals we've been doing, we've been going at it for a couple months now. Like I said, we got 6 shows left. But I would encourage people and if anything, if you know about the story, and if you're of age, bring your child. I would say, maybe older than at least 10, no, 10, 12, but definitely you have a teenager, bring them because this is they are immature. He was
Right. And
14.
it talks about racism. I mean, even though he was killed 65 years ago, it's a story
Yeah.
that people need to really understand. 14-year-old black Chicago child, and I'm sure it's heavy. What role do you play in the play?
So I am the the then NAACP.
I just lost the sound. Okay, there you go. Somebody must have called you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm playing Roy Wilkins, the NAACP secretary at the time. And it's interesting because some of us have two parts, and this was done purposely by the playwright David Barr. And I'm also doing one scene where I'm the pastor that did Bishop Ford, who did the funeral for him. So, and that's just one scene. But I'm Roy Wilkins and Henry Ford. Um, and
Oof.
like I said, it's just really it's stuff I hadn't heard about. I didn't know
Wow.
about. So you can learn even if you know the story. Many of us who are familiar, we know a little boy got killed. They hung him. I mean, they lynched him and so forth, so on. His mom protested. His mom wanted to open casket, and now he's all in the newspapers and he's in history books. But it's more than that. It's more than that because I think it's just the fact that what happened to Emmett again, like I
Can
said
happen
earlier,
again, and it's
it's
happening.
devastating.
We're
Yep.
seeing it in our day and time. It's happening over and over again. Even though back then this lynching happened, there was a lynching that happened. What, in 2023? I think we just
2000,
had.
yeah, right, not long ago. Yeah, there's still
Oh,
hangings in parts of Texas and Mississippi right now as we speak. But these
wow.
don't make news because what Mamie did, the family members of what's going on, why we're not hearing about it, why it's not a vast thing or broad in media is because there's no more Mamies. Either they just don't want to say anything, or some of them may take a lawsuit. They get some money or whatever have you. And it's not a big thing anymore, or it's a big protest for a little bit, like so many other ones we've heard, Mike Brown and Freddie Gray. They're protesting, they're burning up places, and then that's it. And then when there is a conviction, we clap and shout, and then we get right back on business. I think that again, if we just remember these stories and remember they're still going on, and we each play an intricate role in determining our future.
So I'm wondering, is this a play that will make people angry, or will it be one to more so get them informed? I know it might be a combination of both.
Yeah, definitely a combination of both. But I will say we did the second show we did, or I mean, I believe it was the third show. One of those shows we did out of six. Almost the entire audience was in tears, and you hear them sniffling and so forth while we're still up there on stage performing, and that was touching. And to me, if you're in tears because you know the story is touching you, then that's good. But if you're in tears more because you were unaware, or you're in tears because there's something, what can I be doing to sort of
Right.
prevent, or what could I have done to prevent my nephew or my son or my daughter
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
down these dark paths that they go
Whew.
in. Because again, even the ones who committed those acts, yeah, they were white, but we still got black on black crime as well. Just because these are white men that did that to this little boy, there's black people that kill black people all the time. you know
Yeah.
um I got a family member who his wife, somebody just killed, her father. You know what I'm saying? And I knew him. I knew the man. It's just like, and like I said, the fact that these things are still going on, we're still, you know, under attack. It's just, I think that you should be, touched. If you want to get angry, but know how to channel that anger. and say, I'm mad, not mad at the white man or mad, I'm mad because that happened. Yeah, I'm mad because things are still going on. Just now channel it and say, what can I do?
So the Emmett Till movie, it needs to be shown at a lot of HBCU colleges and a lot more places. I mean, is it going to be going other places after you finish and you hit mute? Is it going to be going in more places after you finish these 6 shows?
So we're not as of yet a traveling production company, but we're trying to get there. That we're fairly Pure Life has been around for about 3 years or some change now. But the director, she's
I just
but
watched the sound. Uh-huh.
is that good?
No, the sound had went away, but I heard it
Okay,
come back. Your
okay,
phone
yeah,
must be ringing.
no, it's not. I don't get any calls. I'm not sure what that is.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you this. If somebody is watching this and they would be interested in bringing this Emmett Till story to their city or their state, is that a possibility?
Oh, without a doubt. And what I was saying when we lost sound was a lot of that is the budget. So if someone would love for us to come to their city, um, and we can work together in collaboration as part of what Pure Life is about, as part of what Melanin Enhancement does. So even if Pure Life is like, and what will more than likely happen is Pure Life Theater in association with, for example, myself or Melanin Enhancement will put together, and then whatever theater company that's in that particular city or state will work together. And we'll, as long as we have to get the cast there, we'll come definitely perform there. It's without a doubt.
And when you go to that city, will there be roles available or will you already have everybody casted? It'll be casted already.
It depends. Once we get to that, bridge, we could talk about, because we'll have to, discuss, who from here is willing to be in it, willing to travel, and if there's not people willing to travel, then you still have understudies. But to work with people in another city or whatever have you through there, if they have, whether it's a theater company or whether somebody who just wants to act as well and give their gift, and we can definitely work with that.
Now, there was a young lady who popped in. I don't know if she's still here. She has a one-woman show. She's traveling around the world. Do you pick up people like that with your company? If there was somebody who was gifted and talented and they are doing a traveling production on their own, does your company look for artists like that or people to perhaps help with their mission to go and travel around the world and show their gift and talents?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. That's what Melanin Enhancement is. It's a company that works in collaboration with other whether proprieties, individuals, companies that are about the cause. So myself and my queen Camille Sabali in 2019, we did a show at the Hayti Heritage Center, and it was called Peace to the Revolution. It was actually my first production, co-production, but it's my first production under Melanin Enhancement. And what we did was we had artists that showcase local talent. We had about 12 artists, and it was showcasing hip hop as well as poetry. And then and in that, everybody that was involved that's what that show was about. Of course, that was in 19, and we had plans, still have plans, but and then when COVID hit in 2020, it just kind of, as put everything on hold. So the idea was to produce more of those shows, which are still going to happen. We just been in production now and talks about doing more
Wow.
things, including
I got to
jazz.
send you the information for the young lady I'm talking about. She came here and did a show. She wants to come back, and she actually wants to go into it. And I actually was going to show her a couple of the theaters. And so when I saw her pop in, it made me think about that question for sure. So I'm glad that you mentioned that is what y'all are doing. You are actually providing a platform for gifted artists, musicians, singers, actors, actresses, producers, I'm sure, film writers, to come together and you all make it happen. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
is there anything else? Is there anything else on the agenda besides the Emmett Till right now? What's next?
So I'm actually doing film. I was in Birmingham, Alabama last month. doing, and shout out to Bruce, Johnny, and Cruz, the producers and director. Amazing guys, man. Like I said, met them for the first time, and so I went to Alabama to do that film shoot. It was a short film, and right now it's still underway in editing process and so forth. But we have some plans of working together on more projects in the future. And again, and that to me just is what it's all about. Went there for one project. That, hey, you reached out. You want to, come back in the future to do another project that we've been working. Of course, absolutely. That's what I'm about. So working with producers and other actors and directors and writers. I went to Winston Salem and did. I've done two projects, film projects, and I got to shout my man Marlon Wiggum, who's UNC School of Art student who reached out to me. Well, he was a director in both of these projects, but just the hard work and talent, just loving and meeting everybody that I met, everybody that was involved in both of those projects. It's like, it just melts me, man, because I'm working with young, talented people my age, people a little older. It's just to me, like I said, that's what it's all about.
Wow. Now you also have a podcast yourself. I see that you do something piping hot team. What's that all about?
Oh,
Where,
well,
where
yeah, I
does
think I
that
need to
take place?
update. Yeah, I need to update my website. So I did a podcast for about 2 years with the Pipe and Hot crew, um, and so I no longer have that. I'm glad you said that. I need to take that out. Don't do. We did a weekly show. Um, the homie Ro and I, shout out to him too. We did a show every week, and it pretty much, we talked about relationships. We talked about what we're talking about today, black and black crime. We talked about, just everyday topics about mostly affecting us, involving us, entertainment, sports, whatever it was. We had a topic every week. So yes, I don't do that anymore. No, but I did do that for about 2 years.
I'm sure a lot came out of that though, because you see that podcasts have evolved and everybody's doing one. So it's a great way
Right.
to network and find people and get information out there. So do you plan on starting it again?
Absolutely. Not anytime soon. I'll like be a guest like I am today. I just have a lot, going on. Oh, you also asked what was next other than the films. So after this, as soon as we're done with Emmett Till, I'm shooting right into Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I'm not sure if people are familiar with that. It's another August Wilson play, and I love August Wilson's work. I've done Fences. Um, and this will be my second August Wilson play with Sophia Lobby put together. It'll be in September. We don't have the details yet, but
Wow.
yeah, it's on that. So if you have Netflix, check out Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It was Chadwick Boseman's last film before he transitioned on, and I will actually be playing the role that he played in the play.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah,
And
that
on Netflix now? Okay.
it's all. Oh yeah, so on Netflix now. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I would encourage everybody. Denzel Washington produced it. The brother who actually I think directed Fences, I believe, is the same. I can't think of his name, but and one thing I admire, Denzel is one of my all-time favorite actors, and what I admire about him so much, especially now, is he said, now I think a couple of years ago, that before he retires from film, he wants to make sure that August Wilson's work is left out there for everybody to just see and hear, and I love that.
So speaking of Denzel, I know your dad was very influential and helping you to get started, but who in the industry did you idolize when you were young coming up and thought about wanting to do others?
Oh man, Denzel was the first one. I was about 8 or 9 years old, maybe, when I saw a Soldier Story, and I probably why my mom had the VHS. My mom was like, "You gonna wear the tape out?" And it's so crazy. I think about it, like that young of an age. I don't know why certain movies just really touch me. You think an 8-year-old kid, they're gonna. I mean, I did watch cartoons. I watched the Bugs Bunnies, and but when it came to certain films, and I again thinking just because it was embedded in me and implanted at such an early age, I love the movies where they depicted people that looked like me. Number one, and there was some sort of positive, you know, message or affirmation in it, not just negative. Of course, you have to have both sides. That's what it's all about. But so I saw Soldier Story, and I just was like, man, Denzel, didn't know who he was. And of course, eventually hear my mom and her friends, ladies talking about this man, Denzel, that was so fine, and all that stuff. I'm like, you know what? Shoot, the ladies love him. You know what I'm saying? I loved him on the film, so he became one of my dentists. Watching most of his movies throughout my life. But others such as Jack Nicholson and Tom Hanks. You know, a lot of actors, great actors. Julia Roberts. There's a lot of them that I grew up watching. I just would sit there and be mesmerized at how they could, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, as far as comedians. I mean, the list goes on with people who I would say was influential on the film and on stage.
Now, what about film writers, directors? Who would you like to consider yourself to be like or similar? Sometimes people say you don't want to be like anybody else. You want to be like yourself. But who is it that inspired you the most?
I would say honestly, Denzel and Spike Lee. I love the Spike Lee films when I got introduced to those again around. And it's funny because I'm talking about it now, like, wow, I was a kid. I was like, what, 11, 12, Do the Right Thing, and all those movies came out. And would just not watch them like even like my peers would watch them. I would watch them in amazement at the fact that somebody, once again, that looked like me, you know, or should I say was black like me, and doing things. And at that time, when it was a lot, black cinema, of course, in the 70s when it really, really, grew, and then knowing the history of how we couldn't even be on film, and if we were, and then you got the blackface in the 30s
Yeah.
and 40s, and so just knowing that what black artists um, had to go through, directors and producers, so forth, had to go through just to get on a camera, just to get on the stage, couldn't help but appreciate those like Spike, who had his own creative vision and genius. So I would say Spike, and Denzel just being able to just, you give him a role that he can do it. And I think that's where I am now. Just like, I did Fences. I'm not sure you're familiar with Fences, but I was Bono, the character Bono. And Bono was a yes man to Troy. And I've never been a yes man in my life. So the interesting part about that was practicing or rehearsing to be a yes man character, and I've never been that.
Wow.
I've also did a stage play. Yeah, I also did a stage play called Mama's Child, God's Too, written by the late Tracy Pope, peace be upon her soul. And just playing a drug dealer. I've never sold a drug in my life. But just
Ooh.
getting in that character. Yeah, so that's the beauty of it, when you can transform a character and infuse yourself, whether you live that lifestyle or depicted anything that's in that character or not. Just knowing that this is the underlying message that needs to be sent. I'm a drug dealer, for example, or I'm a yes man, or I'm a preacher, or whatever it is. I'm gonna have to show the people that not only is this character, this is who this character, but this is who I am. So how do you infuse the character and your own persona at the same
Wow.
time?
Is there a type of character that you prefer to play? Like some people like to play the bad guy, the good guy. What is it that you like, that you feel as though you really play that well?
You know, that's another good question, because most of what I've done so far has been pretty much the bad guy. Even Roy Wilkins and Emmett Till, he wasn't a bad guy, but he was like that hard nose. Look, I'm NAACP. We all about this. I think I would say I would say the bad role, and the reason I say that is because again, I've never been that, so I can sort of infuse the goodness in me in this bad character and still make him bad. So in other words, like, I hate this guy, or I don't like this character, but at the end, I like this guy. We've all seen a show or a movie or something where we did not like the bad guy, but guess what we were doing at some point? Cheering for the bad guy, right? So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I like that. It's good guys, of course, I can play that role as well. But I consider myself a good guy. Pretty much clean nose. Kept my head clean. I don't have that life of getting locked up and, like I said, selling drugs, do all that stuff on street. None of that's me. So to play those characters, I think it's challenging. It's fun.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I was going to say, I think a lot of people like that role. Now, I will ask you this. In your experience, do you feel as though that's what people go to the most, the bad guy? And the other thing is, what is the type of role that you personally would not play? Like everybody should have their own standard. They know what they want going in the industry.
Certainly.
That's how you don't lose your soul. Is there a role that you absolutely will not do?
Oh, look, man, you just hit me with the questions. I love them. First, yeah, the the fact that I'm playing a bad guy role or a role of the negative image, because it is, a reality. You know what I'm saying? Again, there's people out here who do these things that are depicted in these films and so forth. Um, but to say that this is what it is, and I guess the word would be um, to make it popular, to over popularize a negative or a bad character. That's not the agenda. It's just to show that, look, hey, this guy's a bad character. But in somewhere in that acting, you can show um, that he has a heart, or that he's or she's, a good person. As far as a role, I would not play, regardless. Is I would not play a homosexual role.
Mm.
I'm not wearing any dresses. I'm not kissing any men. I'm not playing any gay role. Um, and that's only because of my views. I don't knock anybody. People,
Right,
feel
right, right. That's
weird.
just you knowing that what your
Yeah,
boundaries are,
yeah,
and
boundaries are.
that's what actors and actresses and artists need to know, right? As a
Oh, absolutely.
professional, would you, as a professional, if there's somebody watching that's new out here in any of those areas, stepping out into the entertainment industry, the music industry, the uh, acting industry, would that be one of the things you would tell them, is that they need to know what they will and will not do?
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. Even like I said, we're talking about the drug dealer. If you just are not going to play a drug dealer, if you're not going to play a woman who, a man who beats on women or cheats on women, or you're not going to play a woman who's a prostitute, or don't play that role. I mean, whether it's on film or stage, don't do it. And don't conform. Don't look at the dollar sign either. I think a lot of times with us, oh man, they're gonna offer me millions. I mean, this goes all the way back to the plantation though. Hey, we'll give you this. Will give you, not us, but we'll give this plantation owner this much money for these slaves, and then all of a sudden transform later on to what we have now. We'll give this money, man, $100 million to play some basketball. So it's the same thing. I'm not again condoning anything like that, and I would say don't conform. I did a couple of months ago audition for a role for I believe it was actually, it wasn't even a short film, it was a film, and a pretty big project. And they reached out to me, the director, and asked me in an email if they said, well, I saw you audition for this role, but would you mind? I think you'd be perfect to play this role. And I said, well, let me look at that role. And I went and looked at the role, and the role was, yeah, a man who had a husband, and because it was centered around teenage kids with the main cast. And I immediately just responded back, no, thank you. I mean, I'm no. So again, I already knew when I looked at the role, and it said homosexual male, 40s, with married. It had a little description. No, I'm not playing.
So I know that I leaned on this a little bit because I wanted to just have you to expound on those things, because a lot of times a lot of people come back and they play this back and they watch this, and I wanted them to understand the importance of understanding who they are and what they will not do. I will ask you one more thing before we move off of the film. What is it that you look for when you're going to work with an individual coming to you as an artist, a musician, a writer, or anyone that just wants to come to, Melanin Enhancement Enterprise LLC? What do you look for? What are the qualities you look for?
Uh, to me, I'm real simple. I'm a simplistic person, rather practical. And we all, uh, passion, commitment. You know what I'm saying? If you come in, whether you come in with your vision, here's my vision, here's my idea. I want to do this, but I need some commitment and passion to go with it, because I'm gonna have just as much, if not more, than you, so we can make this thing work. So again, other than that, the talent, I think is that's few and far in between. There's so many talented people on this planet, of all ages. I've worked with, so many people who are just so talented, and again, acting, writing, dancing, singing. I mean, you name it. So to have a passion, at least, and if you don't know what your passion is, at least have an idea or something that you're willing to work hard for. To me, that's what a passion. I mean, I think everybody is passionate in their own right about something. It's just a matter of, for one, what that is, and two, how much passion are we putting in. At the same time, you got to control those passions too, because they can overtake your whole life. You're out there, that those are the workaholics. Those are the people who aren't sleeping and aren't eating and still doing things that we need to better ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to be able to do that. So, but yeah, just have commitment, passion, honesty, dedication, and willing to work. At the same time, I work with some people who, on the cell
Wow.
phones. Yeah, on the cell phones while we in the middle. I'm like, we on stage, we backstage. Oh, shoot, it's my turn. Like put them phones up. you know, put those cell phones away, put them tablets or whatever, all that stuff away. A lot of stuff is killing us anyway. We spend too much time on it. But and just stay committed to the work.
Now, black belt in martial arts. Have you ever wanted to do a karate movie or anything?
That was the first. That was the first film I wanted to do. Believe it or not, like I said, I love Denzel, but my first film. I mean, my pops and I used to watch, the Bruce Lee and the Jackie Chan the old Jackie Chan when he was like 19, 18, 19, 20, and many others. So martial arts film because I started in martial arts when I was 5 or 6, but so that was I guess the first passion that I had. I didn't play basketball until I was about 13. So martial arts film, absolutely. Jim
Well, I
Kelly.
can make that happen for you if you might still be interested. I got Sensei Mo, who's out there in New York City, right there. Adam Clayton Powell, and he's getting ready to do something now with gosh, who's he doing it with? I'm looking at his face. He's got a couple of them out there, and he may have something. So I may need to
Oh
connect you
man,
to.
please,
I
please.
might
That's
need
like
to
I said.
connect you to, because
If you
Sensei
can,
Mo.
yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, because he's always, and he's got a release. He's doing a red carpet coming up because he asked me to come out there and do some interviews.
Okay.
And he's working with I'm looking at his face right now. That's
Is it
called.
is it a martial art actor or a
Oh,
martial art?
definitely. Yeah, no. It's not martial arts. He's working with it's gonna come back to me. But I'll remember to send that to you because I think that would be really cool. And he's
Oh,
from.
please do. And if with that connection, again, this is like what everything that I'm not just me, but my company is about just networking, communicating with other people with other
Look him up.
passions.
Sensei Mo. His name is his movie. I'm gonna give you the name of it. I just pulled it up. His movie is called one of the movies is called Blood Mix, the movie. And he's the director of Empty Hands. It's a
Okay.
love, sex, and kung fu movie. And he had one of the heavy hitters in there. You gotta check it out and see. If you
That's a
pull up Sensei Mo or the Blood Mix the movie or Empty Hands, you'll see him. He's got
oh, I
some good
certainly
stuff out there. He's got some good stuff out there, and he's
oh,
doing them.
absolutely.
I'm so proud of him. We went to high school together at Jamaica, over there in Queens, and
Okay.
Mahalio Bathia is his name. Sensei Mo. They call him Sensei Mo.
Yeah,
Sensei Mo. You pull him up and you'll see it. He's got some stuff out there, and
absolutely.
he's doing some big things. So I need to connect you to for
Well, yeah,
sure.
definitely connected. Yeah, I would love again. So yes, that was my first actual, desire to be on any kind of. If I did a movie, it's gonna be a martial arts because again, I was such a young kid in martial arts.
And he had
Um,
the school. He had the school right there in Harlem. I
so
believe he still had it. I believe he still had the dojo, and he still had the school there because he's had it for many decades there. So
okay.
I need to reach out to him and find out if he's still doing it.
Yeah, reach out to him. And look, I'll be a bad guy.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
be a
yeah,
good
yeah.
guy, bad guy doesn't matter. But no, yeah, I would definitely do martial arts. In fact, I love action films. I love action films. It's
Yeah,
I love the
his
suspense.
empty hands. Oh my God, I seen a couple of them, and I visited his dojo. Great stuff, and his stuff is good. It's professional. It looks good. I think you
Yeah.
would really, really enjoy it. So right now, poetry. Where's poetry on the list? I know your first love is this, but you're a great poet too. And I heard you say that poem. Uh, is that on the back burner, or you
Oh,
kind
appreciate.
of do it as you come across the opportunity?
So now as far as so I have a couple of things. I've also authored two children's books, and I have um a third one that I'm actually working on. Um, but as far as poetry, it is my love. I love to write. I love poetry. Um, and with everything going on, because to me, everything's about balance. So I don't want to just overwhelm. I think I'm almost to the point where I'm overwhelmed with the stage productions and rehearsals and so forth. And still and this is all my You know, I'm not quite full time in this yet, although it feels like I have a full-time gig. I have a 14-year-old daughter that, you know, so I still have a life. But so when I write, and I want to get a book of poetry out, which I've been again sitting on. I have a young adult chapter book with 10 chapters is probably just is sitting there just waiting to be edited and finished up. So once I get that in that space where I can, you know, because I write, you know, when it comes to me, I don't get the, you know, I'm force myself to write something. But I have quite a bit of poetry that I've done over the last, I would say, decade or so that some are committed to memory. So when I do get asked to perform something like the one you saw, that was one of my newest ones. Yeah.
So will you do a piece for us of your poetry?
Certainly. Yeah, I can see what I can find here in my brain that that's not a on script. Won't mess me up. You know, and it's funny because I always have my, you know, I get asked to do poetry, and I've done this piece so many times. I'm going to do it again. It's called Trust Issues, and the reason I do it and done it so much is because I think it just speaks to so many of us. But just the issue with trust itself, not just in relationships, man or woman, but just trust. Period. Well, work relationships, you know, family relationships, you know, just trusting one another to be able to, you know, get through this hellhole we live in. You know, a lot of times we fail to realize we're in a struggle every day, and yet we still can't even trust the people we, you know, we go to bed with. We can't trust the people that we call brothers, and even some.
And he's on the cover of the magazine right now. He's on the cover of the 50. That there's a karate magazine. He's on the cover. That's him right there. He's on the cover of the.
Oh yeah,
that's
that
my
Michael
brother.
Ajani?
He's on the cover of the Black Belt magazine.
Yes. He's
That's him. So
he's
I need to hook y'all up together. I need to
absolutely
connect y'all.
Yeah, please do that. Yeah, I do trust issues.
Okay.
My go-to piece.
Trust issues. So tell us. I always ask poets, and if you're just joining us, share this live with 5 people each. The 3 of you that are on here, the people that have popped in, share this live because this is a young brother that people need to know. I mean, this is a person that is very, very resourceful, very talented in many, many areas. I mean, so if you are a gifted artist or you're trying to get in the industry, this is somebody you need to know. You understand what I'm saying? Most definitely. He's also a poet too, so I asked him to share one of his pieces. So he's getting ready to share one of his pieces. So you got the floor.
Yeah, trust issues. Again, it's I think it speaks to so many of us, regardless of race, regardless of gender, and regardless of age. You know, we all battle or have battled with some issue with trust, to the degree where even we might even struggle to trust ourselves. You know, and in times we living in, you know, we got to have that. So I'm trying my best to completely erase this sour taste and get this off my brain. So instead, I'm gonna get this off my chest in order to eliminate the pain. You see, honestly, I had trust issues before we even crossed paths, but I thought that candlelit dinners and bubble baths would suffice. Even though you are nice, I discreetly struggle with this thing some call a vice. Why else do I need to ask you the same question twice? You see, the problem isn't you. The problem is me. A deep-rooted problem that goes back way before we. A problem that worsens as I grow older. A problem deeply implanted like a new age microchip in my shoulder, or is the chip on my shoulder? You've lied one too many times, so why should I be convinced that you won't lie again? I gave you my heart, and you used it like a pen, only to write me off like a bad check, but it's all good, because there's someone I just met that will help me take away the pain. Yeah, that's right. I said there's someone I just met that will help me take away that pain, so until then, I'm just going to kindly bottle up those issues I have with trust and move on so I can fall deeply in lust. I mean, lust. I'm sorry. I mean, lust. Hey, no, I mean, love. But someone said there can be no love without trust. You can't have trust without communication, and you can't communicate if you ain't got shit to say. Better yet, things to discuss. Now, how are we supposed to build if all we do is argue and fuss? See, in order to build, we have to. In order to build, we have to. In order to build, we have to tear down every dark wall that has tainted and shattered our infinite possibilities and start from ground zero. Let's learn to embrace those roaring thunder of our thoughts and individually become our own hero. See, I'm trying my best to completely erase this sour taste and get this off my brain. So let's not hold on to those suppressed negative energies, or else those trust issues will forever and ever remain.
Trust issues. That is truly that's what we have. Many people have it, as they say. Yes, 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 yes. Man, yeah, man. I'm telling you that is it. And then so you've got a couple poetry books. I know you have some books. Are they
No, I
poems?
don't have. No, I have children's books. So I have two children's books that were both illustrated by, I call him a legend. He's a legend himself, in the Raleigh area, local legend. Fuse Not Me. He's also a poet, also a creator. He illustrated both of my children's books. The first one is Niger and the Teaching Fruit, and the second one is The Day Mo Stood Up, which is about bullying. And I also have plans to. I'm halfway through a script for that. I want to make that a stage play myself. But again, I have a lot going on. But so yeah, I have children. No poetry, books of poetry yet. That's also in the make, or in the future. But yeah, so I have two children's books, and they both can be seen on my website or at lulu.com, lulu.com /Langston Fuse. And I'm working on my third one. So what I started was a reader series for children's books, and I have, like I said, a chapter book for young adults, and I'm just need to finish that one up, and then I'm I should have my my third uh, young children's book coming out, all within probably the next year, hopefully, and a book of poetry.
Nice.
So yeah, yeah. My hat goes off to a lot of people who do this stuff and have been doing this for so long, like Desan Ahanu and Fuse, and I can name several others around here just locally, and also the national level that do this stuff. Man, I'm just like it's motivational and inspirational to me. So I still consider myself rookie in the game.
So, I wonder, for those just coming in case you didn't hear it, this brother is really a talented young man, and he's in a play right now, the Emmett Till story.
Yeah.
And that story is being done here in North Carolina. If you want to bring it to your state, like back to New York or somewhere, you need to look into it because it's powerful. It's really powerful. If you go to his website, I'm sure he has all that on the website. Do you have that on the website as well, on your website?
Yeah, I do have the play information, and I'm going to update my website at some point. I just been so tied up with so many other things. Get some things tweaked on that, but yeah. So you can reach out to me directly, and then I can put in touch with the theater director so we can collaborate something. But again, it's just a matter of, like you said, getting the message out. That's what it's about.
Right. Because that's a powerful play. I'm gonna come check it out. I'm gonna put it on my. I touched this cord. I'm gonna put it on my list. Oh, okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna put it on my list for sure to check it out and make sure.
Please do.
I'm about to
please do it and put it out. We have, like I said, we have 6 shows starting on June 9th at the Burning Coal Theater in Raleigh, downtown Raleigh. So, again,
wow. So
the face of Emmett Till.
Wow, Burning Coal in June.
Next Friday. Yeah.
Are they only on the weekend?
No, so we have one next Friday, 2 next Sunday on the 11th, 2 shows that day, and then the 14th. I believe they're 22 or 25. If you check the website, because the tickets are only purchased through the website. I think you can't go at the door and purchase them, but still you're going to be going through the website. But
anybody else I know in the play?
I'm not sure if you know who you know, but Mamie Till is Tina Anderson Morris. I'm sorry, Tina Morris Anderson. And I don't know everybody by their names. But the cast, I don't even know what the playbill. So I think if you go to the website, and it should be that the little thing, you can scan the little barcode thing, whatever you call it. You can scan that, And you should be able to see the playbill with all the cast members.
Are there any other shows or any other project that you want the people to know about that you have coming up that you're casting for or looking for, or donations or anything that I haven't asked you regarding what you're doing with your LLC or anything?
As of now, no, I don't. I'm just you know, getting these plays out the way, and then like I said, as soon as I finish these, we'll start rehearsing for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, another August Wilson piece in September in Raleigh, and at some point in there, I'll get my I'll get my books finished. But on my website, I have at the very bottom donation button. I mean, I'm always I'm independent, so I do everything. So all that gas, all that stuff is me. All my stuff, even when I done productions, I did a Mother's Day show in 2020. I'm sorry, 2021. Um, where I hosted. So I mean, I purchased my own equipment for shows I've done. I've done my album release. We hadn't mentioned my music. I had some albums on Apple Music and Spotify and all that stuff. So that's all been straight out of pocket, paying my producer, paying the promotion. So I do all of that. So,
and tell them how they can support you. Where can they go and purchase, listen?
So most of my my material as far as my books and stuff, and I have some t-shirts on there. That's on my website, AjaniCambone.com, AJANIKMBON.com. Also, and on that website, like I said, again, but very bottom is a donate button. I'm always, as anybody, I'm not asking for anything, but I'll accept donations there. Of course, it'll help, purchase some things that I'm doing, but
let me ask you, do you know King Taurus Soul?
Not familiar
King
with that
Taurus Soul. Let me see who that is. There's somebody that wants to come in. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna hope it's not somebody that I'll regret that I let in. But King Taurus Soul look like somebody that might be relevant to what we're talking about. That want to come on in and ask the question. King Taurus Soul, I'm trying to accept you. Let's see what they might want to ask you a question. King Tarso, can you put something in the comment and tell me, did you want to ask him a question or contribute something? Because I see your request. It's not letting me bring you in, so you may have to put it in the question box. I didn't know if that was one of your supporters or followers or somebody that was requesting. So that's why I wanted to acknowledge them.
I'm not familiar with the name.
Okay, there they go. King Tarso, how you doing today? How are you? I saw your request. Do you know this young man here? You look okay. Right. Okay. And did you want to address something or say hello? Introduce yourself first of all. Where you are coming in from?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you wanted to come up while I was talking to this young man. Did you have a question for him?
Thanks. Absolutely. Yeah. Right.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right.
Do me a favor, wipe your screen. Wipe your screen off so your screen is a little blurry. So I thank you so much for sharing that for him. That's really powerful.
Yeah.
You said to him. I'm gonna let him respond to you on that.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, peace to you, brother. I appreciate that. I heard you say Virginia. Yeah, I lived in Newport News when I was a kid for a little bit. So shout out to VA. But he hit it on. You know, we have to support one another. And when I first started doing this about 8 years ago or so, I started saying, like you said, man, I'm up in age. I don't need to be doing this stuff. And somebody actually talked. This brother sat me down and said, nah, man, it don't even matter what age you are. It matters what kind of work you putting out, or what you're willing to do to help put out for the people. And so once that settled in, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep pushing. But I would say, as far as support, I think I'm catching them. Am I getting feedback?
That's amazing. That's amazing. And so you said you almost gave up on yourself. Did I hear you say that?
Well, not so much gave. I almost just didn't even pursue it. I was like, you know what? I'm in my 30s, mid to late 30s. I don't need, all that, hip hop and, acting and all this stuff. But I would say, man, brother, yeah, absolutely. You're like, you know what? So many people do it, Yeah. And you know what, though? I would say that fueled me, man. That fueled me to be like, you know what? And that's part of my passion. Like, you know what? I didn't start in my teens or 20s. I'm gonna go ahead and do as much as I can now to sort of catch up. So it's like motivation. Like I got these books I want to do. I got these albums, and so far, like I said, in about 7 to 8 years, I've done it. I got 4 albums, 2 books, done stage plays, doing movies and film, and hopefully in the future, in the near future, I'll be on somebody's Netflix or Peacock or something. So and I'm real close to that. Absolutely, brother. Appreciate.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So you said you're a singer or songwriter?
Okay.
Wow.
Right. Wow.
Maryland. That's right. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
You're right.
Wow.
But you know what, man, and you definitely gotta keep in touch.
Now, you know what?
Yeah.
There's another young lady that just popped in here. I would love for you to hear her. She's an artist too, chemistry, music. Because I know this young man. I want you to tell the people that are popping in what it is you do. But before we do that, I'm going to close this out over here. So I just want you to give a summation of who you are, how they can reach you, because I'm going to close this and continue on IG while we do that.
Okay, good. Yeah. Again, I'm Ajani Cambone. I'm a artist, author, actor, creator. I can be reached at. I have a Facebook as well as Instagram. Instagram is Ajani _ it's AJANI _ KAMBON 13, the number 13. Facebook is Johnny Cambone. JohnnyCambone.com is the website, and I pretty much stay on those. I'm on Instagram a lot. I'm on Facebook, quite a bit when I have time. I'm not like a social media junkie. I'm up there for business and work purposes only. So I'll chat it up with you a little bit, but if it's if it's not about work and business, I don't really do too much outside of that. And my business is Melanin Enhancement Enterprises, is LLC that links up with other inspiring community-based organizations, individuals, and what have you.
Well, I want to thank you so much for that. We're going to continue on. For those of you over here on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, we're going to catch you next time. We're going to make sure you do the replay. I want you to turn your volume up on IG because they said they couldn't hear you, but I want to thank you so much. I'm going to end this over here so we can continue over there, okay? And once again, you've been watching Storytime. So turn